but it's something that I think, with experience, when you get people into the room, they may disagree on a whole wide variety of issues. As long as we agree on what the end game is and the focus should be, I think we'll keep moving the football downfield, and when we do that, we'll see some progress. And I'm pretty proud of the local efforts here and of their efforts in pushing this project to where it is today. We wouldn't even be talking at this point in the debate. We wouldn't even be talking about having the funds to actually put them up to a 100-year level without the dedication and leadership of Democrats and Republicans here in the Metro East.
A specific question to the issue: what would you do differently than Congressman Costello on this issue? And on a broader question, just you've mentioned many times during the campaign that you think that the economy has been lacking due to poor public policy. What ways do you think the current Congressman Costello has failed in the sense to foster good economic conditions in the district and in the Metro East area?
Well, sure. I mean, I think a couple of things. I don't allege that the economy is struggling or faltering. I mean, the numbers show that it is. I mean, if you look at the unemployment rate in this district, it's double digits. If you look at the unemployment rate from Alexander County to Madison County, things are really tough. The really scary thing isn't just that the numbers are bad, it's that the numbers are getting worse. Each month for the last several months, every county in this district has seen its unemployment rate go up. I don't cast blame on anybody for that, but I do know going to Washington, D.C. and supporting Nancy Pelosi for Speaker of the House, supporting Barack Obama for president is not going to provide the change that we need. If you look at the economy, if you look at the industries that really make up the DNA of the Southern Illinois economy, the energy industry, if you look at the transportation industry, if you look at the ag industry, it's very reliant upon a lot of these policies and a lot of these issues that are being held up from a regulatory process. I wanted to hit on what Mike asked earlier. He said, how do you streamline these issues? Well, there's legislation out there right now aimed at streamlining the regulatory process in several different ways. This legislation passed the House of Representatives in bipartisan support. It's not a Republican thing or a Democrat thing, it's a common sense thing. And it's being held up right now. So, I don't think Rodney and I are here to throw stones at anybody. We're here to stand up and say what we need is more common sense leaders. We need more people like Congressman Costello and Congressman Shimkus. They're going to sit down in a room together, Republican and Democrat, federal and state, local, working together for the common good. I mean, these levies aren't a Republican or Democrat thing. These are a common sense thing. And Rodney and I are knowledgeable on the issue, but we're also ready to hit the ground running in a Republican majority in Washington, D.C. to really go after these issues and get them resolved however we may participate in doing so.
Last question. I got a question about FEMA. I mean, just the backstory of this. 5 years ago, FEMA went around the Metro East, as you might recall, telling very concerned public officials that their levees were functionally useless. The new flood levee maps would show that. Therefore, as a result, flood insurance rates would skyrocket. And so FEMA kept saying the flood levees were worthless. People like Alan Dunstan, chairman of the Madison County Board, were saying, where's the proof? Where's the proof? Well, for years they dissembled and said, well, we got it, but we can't show it to you. Finally, there was a federal court case. Turns out they didn't have any proof at all. A lot of theories going around that FEMA was just trying to replenish its coffers with these higher insurance rates. But the bottom line is FEMA paid no penalty for putting a lot of public officials through a lot of worry and concern. Meanwhile, economic development in the levees has come to a standstill. What would you do about FEMA to prevent something like that from happening in the future? Because they paid no price for what clearly was not, truthful statements.
It's not about making anybody pay a price. It's about making people do their jobs. And what I think you see with FEMA and other bureaucracies, sometimes they get caught up in the minutia and lose sight of the big picture of what's important. And what's been important, I think, has been addressed by legislation from Congressman Costello and Congressman Shimkus to ensure that the FEMA map updating process was done in a common sense way. And because of that, we've seen the ability of the locals to get together and begin this project. And what Jason and I want to ensure, we want to ensure that progress continues. And if we don't have that, then you're going to see the blame game go around to FEMA, the Corps, locals, and everybody involved, including the elected officials. And that's where it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be at a point where we blame anyone for the delays. We should be at a point where we start talking about how we all play a role in this partnership in moving these very important projects forward. I'll tell you, with FEMA though, I think there's an issue that needs to be dealt with in regards to FEMA regarding their regional laws. Illinois and Missouri are in different regions, and I think they do things differently. And from my experience in working with Congressman Shimkus in the past, we've dealt with problems regarding disaster declarations that are done at a different level in each different region.